Good evening guys, F4H Rosso here with today's GT Sport video. Today we've made our way over to the GTSRL for our first dive into some organised league racing. I've been wanting to do this for a little while, so it's nice to have found a group of guys who are well organised, etc. And basically we've jumped straight in to my qualifying lap. So basically this race is the first in the EU pre-season. So basically these three races were to kind of gauge interest, etc. And get the European League, set up and people familiarised with the rules and things like that. So today we're taking on the Lake Maggiore East circuit. We've got 3 races, all of 6 laps, and then a really cool race at the end called King of the Karts, which I definitely recommend you stick around for, or even if you're not liking the video, just skip to the end to watch the kart race, because it's absolutely mental, so good. Basically we find ourselves crashed on the first lap and fight all the way from last for a crazy finish, so definitely stick around for that. But yeah, we're qualifying at the moment. We are driving the BMW M4, so this is a Group 4 race. It is with tuning, but I didn't realise that we'd be able to participate in the race until very late, so no tune on the car. And we're going to pop in a pretty solid 123.442. That puts us on pole position. So straight into race 1. It's a pretty eventful start, as you'll see. Apologies for the half-arsed paint job, as I say. Didn't know I was racing in this till about 2 hours before, so basically sprinted home from work, turned the PlayStation on, put some decals on a car, and didn't even have a chance to run more than 5 laps of practice. But we've got off the line and we bogged down badly, and Dins has jumped us off the line. We're down into turn 1, a little tap on the bumper, a little bump and run touring car move, and we've made our way back into first position. Decent little track, the Maggiore East circuit. Nice to have shorter ribbons of Maggiore. It's one of my favourite tracks, one of my favourite original GT Sport tracks, and one of the most popular ones. And the East circuit is very cool. Quite a challenging final turn, which kind of makes or breaks your lap. But we've got a decent start. We've made ourselves a gap at the end of the halfway point of the first lap of about a second. The main aim really in all of these races, as we had a little pace advantage over second, was to basically break away at the start, make sure we didn't get involved in any skirmishes or battles that could potentially derail the race or anything like that. So we've managed to do that in this one, which is a pretty decent start. The car itself, as you'll all know, the BMW M4 is in a decent place in Group 4 at the moment, which is part of the reason why I chose it, and basically because I've used it a decent amount as well, so I knew that with minimal practice I'd be at a decent kind of pace. So I've come around to complete the first lap with a relatively straightforward first lap, no real battles or anything like that. And we're going to try and pop in a hot lap straight out of the box for second, as I say, making that gap as big as possible, because we all make mistakes, as you'll see in this video. So the main aim really when you're in the lead of a race and trying to control the race is to give yourself the buffer just in case anything does happen. We're just trying to keep neat and tidy, basically hit all of our marks. We know what we know what we're capable of, we know what the car's capable of, and just making sure that we can build that little gap just in case we need it. So whilst we're trying to hammer around as fast as we can, a little bit about the GTSRL, which I thought was the GT Sport Racing League until I found out today it's not. It's actually the Grand Touring Series Racing League. Yeah, I completely stumbled upon it by accident. I was just watching Twitch one night, and I wondered, what kind of streamers were involved on Twitch, etc. Because obviously I stream a bit on YouTube, so I like to have a look at other streamers, see what they're doing, kind of build on some ideas from them and things like that. So I kind of stumbled upon the GTSRL, joined their Discord, and we'll start racing on here a bit more often. We're going to do the EU and North American League, so you're going to see plenty of content coming up on the channel from that. As we skip to lap 6, the race has been pretty uneventful. We've managed to break away and get ourselves a decent lead, so we're going to head into the final lap and hopefully secure race 1. But yeah, the GTSRL, really good bunch of guys. Unfortunately, Not taking on applicants at the moment because both seasons are pretty much starting. But as soon as they are, I will pop the Discord link into one of my videos. You know, anyone that wants to get involved, I would thoroughly recommend it. Really nice guys, really well organised, and nice to do some league racing outside of sport mode and things like that itself. So yeah, definitely recommend checking them out. I think they're in the middle of, or in the process of building a site at the moment as well. As soon as that is ready, I'll pop the link to that on this video too. So yeah, definitely when the time comes, even if I can get my words out tonight. When the time comes, get involved. It's definitely worth it, and something that'll be really cool. You know, we maybe end up racing some of you guys more often in a league race. If to do a team championship, maybe we could do like an F4H Rosso YouTube team or something like that. It'd be really cool. But yeah, anyway, we're heading into the final corner to wrap up race 1. We've done pretty well in that one. Managed to build ourselves a really decent gap of around 10 seconds. And basically I likes to flag victory bar the start. We're going to try and improve on that for race 2. Dins did really well in second position. Really solid, consistent race from him, and shout out to Genesis as well in position 3, hustling that Group 4 Mustang around the Major East circuit for a great result. So straight into race 2. We're going to not bog down, hopefully this time, as you look at the horrible decals on the back of my car again. You'll see I make a quick adjustment and switch the traction control up to 2 for the start, which works absolute wonders. We get off the line fantastically well, and really now it's all about defending into turn 1. Just keeping an eye on that rear view mirror, just to make sure that nobody's trying anything down the inside or anything like that. Make sure that the apex is clear, and again now it's all about building that little gap, basically trying to break the field, and keep away from any potential pitfalls or anything like that. So we've gotten away again at the start, and it's going to be very similar to the first race, this one. We're going to get away, try and set the fastest lap of the race, lap 2, lap 3, etc. But we're going to get a bit carried away in this race, as you'll see towards the end, trying to set a fast lap. So basically, as I said, or as I alluded to at the start, I didn't really get a huge amount of practice for this, so I was still kind of picking up different things as I was racing. In this particular race, figuring out that certain gears were faster out of certain corners. So basically, lap 5, lap 6, I'd learnt a few tricks. I thought potentially that there was a 1:22 lap time in the car, so I was hunting that down relentlessly, and you'll see what happens when you get a bit carried away trying to hot lap in a league race. But yeah, good first lap again, nice little gap. Din's doing well again in second, and Genesis again with his Mustang in a strong position too. The way this basically works, as I said, this is just a pre-season race really, just to make sure that everything is set up correctly, everyone can connect, everyone's familiar with the rules, everyone's clean. And again, just to gauge interest, because the GTSRL traditionally has been a North American league. So as I said, we are going to get involved in the North American league, and the aim is to take part in the North American and the European leagues over the next few weeks. As I say, more content on that coming up. But basically, there is a point system involved, so you get 14 points for the win, 13 for second, all the way down to 14th place, and a 1 point gap between them basically. They're all totaled up after the 3 races, and after that, obviously, that person wins the round, and it goes towards your final championship standing. So obviously, this is just a standalone round, so no final championship standings on this one. But pretty cool kind of point system. Keeps it close. Means that one poor result can really affect your overall result. So it means you've got to stay on the ball, stay very focused, etc. But we finished lap 2. Again, chasing that time, not quite in the 23s that time. So as I say, I'm pushing onto the final lap. Get in there, 1:23.6, the fastest lap of the race. Brake hard down into turn 1. And we just get a bit greedy on the power coming out of the corner, which has put us onto the grass on the left-hand side. We've only got a 4-second gap this time over Dins. And as you can see, that's cost me pretty much 4 seconds. We have just managed to enter the circuit in front of Dins and Genesis, who are having an absolute mammoth battle for that second podium position. So, as I said at the start of the video, and it was for a good reason, that gap that you build at the start, you know, you've got to stay in these races, you've got to stay focused, you've got to, you know, not let up. Otherwise, you know, if you allow yourself just to relax or, you know, come off the boil or whatever, you make a little mistake like that and all of a sudden you're down in 5th or 6th rather than just being able to scrape maintaining your position. I always remember, it was, I can't remember whether it was 88 or 89 where Senna was winning the Monaco Grand Prix by absolutely miles. He was destroying the field, and his engineers came on the radio and told him to slow down, and so he did, and that was never his style, if that makes sense, and he didn't feel comfortable going slower than the absolute maximum, and he put it in the wall and lost the race. And that's kind of the same similar situation. You've just got to keep going at your pace, because if you start trying to change things, then it changes braking zones, it changes where you turn in for corners, and it can lead to mistakes and things like that. But we've taken race 2, everything going well and swimmingly so far. Can we make it the 3-peat? So again, basically with these races, you finish in race order, so you qualify for the first race, and then the second race it's race 1 finishing positions, and the third race it's race 2 finishing positions. So again, we're lining up alongside Dins on the front row. A long wait for the lights this time. Charlie Whiting playing with us a bit, trying to increase the nerves. And again, we've popped the traction control up to 2 just to get us that initial launch off the line, which worked extremely well with the M4. And again, exactly the same procedure essentially. These races kind of were a mirror of one another, so unfortunately they went a bit more varied or a bit more exciting. It was kind of a lights to flag affair, but it's nice to do a bit of league racing at least, and get involved in something a bit more organised. As I say, sport mode is good and it's really nice, and we're really lucky to have something like sport mode built into a game. For pretty much anything else you have to go searching for websites to have any sort of organised race, whereas sport mode does a really good job of replicating it within the game itself. But there's no substitute for an actual league race, I don't think, where you kind of build up, you know, friendships, rivalries, share setups, kind of build, you know, a rapport with the people you're racing with, etc, etc. So it's really nice again to be involved in some organised league racing. And the last league racing I did, I think, was Tora back on Forza 6 or Forza 5. So it's been a long while. So once we've got a little bit of a break in the race, a little bit of break in proceedings, just wanted to quickly cover a couple of quick things about the channel. We have hit 100,000 views, so thank you ever so much guys for the support. It's been absolutely insane. We've gone basically from October having little to no views on the channel, 100 subs, to we're at 107,000 views now, which is absolutely crazy, and we are basically 50 subs away from 2,000, which is again absolutely insane. So thank you ever so much to everyone who watches and all your support. Absolutely love it. Love getting involved with you guys in the comments and having a chat in these open lobbies and things like that. On the subject of the open lobbies, I did say I was going to do an open lobby stream the other night on Thursday. Unfortunately, my eldest young man was a bit sick. He's got a bit of a cough, feeling very sorry for himself, so had to postpone that one. But we will do that one tomorrow, and it'll be a nice extra long stream as well. It's a Sunday night, so plenty of extra time to stream and get some open lobby goodness done. So I haven't forgotten, guys, don't worry. We will be doing the open lobby stream tomorrow. So yeah, but yeah, as I say, absolutely overwhelmed by the support, guys. It's been a crazy growth from October to now, and looking forward to seeing what the rest of the year brings. If you are new and watching this channel for the first time and you like what you see, feel free to whack that red button for me. you'll get notified basically if you turn notifications on every time we go live. Get yourself involved in these open lobbies and come and get involved in what's a really nice community. We've got some really nice guys and girls that get involved on a regular basis. So yeah, come and get yourselves involved and join the Rosso fam. But yeah, end of the third race. Again, we've had a pretty solid race. I think aided by the fact that Dron in second and Dins in third have had a pretty monumental battle between themselves and Genesis for, again, that second step on the podium. So it's kind of helped us scamper away. Those three guys definitely improved over the course of the three races. As you say, we got a pretty decent 10-second gap in the first race, but they were definitely faster and more consistent as the evening went on. So fair play to those guys. I don't think it will be very long before they're challenging at a very sharp end for wins, etc. So as I say, fair play. Driving a very different variety of cars as well. Obviously, Dins is in the M4. Dron, I believe, was in a 458, and he got Genesis, the Irishman, repping in the Ford Mustang, which is extremely cool Group 4 car. I do love a bit of the Mustang. But yeah, we've completed the clean sweep. 3 races, 3 wins, 3 fastest laps, and pole position. So cannot complain with the way the evening went for us. A really good start to the GTSRL adventure for us. I'm very much looking forward to doing some more racing as part of the league. And this is where it gets extremely exciting. So I can see that the first 3 races were a bit processional, but this is anything but. This is King of the Karts. So basically, after each GTSRL meeting, the guys pop everyone in a 125cc kart, put slipstream on max, put boost on, and watch the mayhem ensue. Now, I had never driven a kart on GT Sport before this, so this was an extremely steep learning curve. And as we approach the left-hand turn, I get on the curb. The kart doesn't like the curbs. I didn't know that before. We pile into the wall, and if that wasn't bad enough, the cone launches us about 6,000 feet into the air. We land on someone else's kart, do a 180, get punted by an extremely unlucky person coming around the corner that basically gets faced by my ugly mug as he's trying to put the power down. And we are right the way down in second to last. We are in 11th position, and at this point I'm thinking, flipping heck, what have I gotten myself into? Because the karts are crazy twitchy, especially on a wheel with you know, force feedback set for like a heavy car. So over like the 3 laps I was literally learning corner by corner what the hell was going on. But you can see these races are definitely a bit more light-hearted than the actual league racing. Guys getting the elbows out. The boost is also extremely fun. You can see people every now and then just getting the boost and just whooshing past you, or getting tucking themselves into that slipstream. So you see Styles on our left-hand side there. The American has joined in for King of the Karts. He wasn't in the actual races themselves. He gets involved in this pretty heavily towards the end. So it really is a good finish, guys. Honestly, I can't overstate that enough. So whoever you have stuck around for King of the Karts, it's definitely worth your while. So at the start of lap 1, pretty much at this point on lap 1, we were in last, facing backwards, getting a punt around the corner as that cone nearly murders me again. I have a deep fear of cones as that one again tries to launch us again. Deep fear of cones after driving these karts. That cone literally launched me. I was scared. But we've made our way up to 5th from 11th in the space of a lap, and it's all very tightly bunched, so this one is definitely not out of our grasp so far. As I say, we're still learning corner by corner, positioning ourselves to kind of do it. Basically what I was trying to do at this point was do kind of a dry run for lap 3. It's a very short race, this one, so I was kind of putting myself in this position here just to see where and when the draft was going to be the most useful onto lap 3, where I needed to be. Should I be leading? Should I be second? Because the slipstream set to strong and the boost on, it throws up some really odd kind of slipstream and draft mechanics. But as you'll see, basically, if you look in my rearview mirror, Styles comes absolutely blasting by on the left-hand side, and we just hold the lead into the final lap. So I've kind of done my little rehearsal, my dress rehearsal for the final lap. So we'll see if that puts us in good stead as we sync one up the inside of Goat, who does a lot of the organisation and things like that for the GTSRL. So thanks very much to Goat. He made sure the night ran extremely smoothly. So shout out to Mr. Radioactive, as I've just cursed him. He's just absolutely flown down the order there. So he must have had a bit of a crash. But yeah, he's basically everyone gets in a Discord. Goat barks out the orders, and you follow the orders, and the race goes nice and smoothly. So yeah, it was good. Enjoyed it. But we're heading into the final moments of the race now. Dins is in the lead at the moment. I thought we had a little crash at the double right-hander, and I thought it was all over. But the boost has brought us right back into this, and we're kind of leading at the wrong time. We've taken the lead too early, and I thought at this point we were going to be in a bit of trouble going into the final corner. So you can see Dins hard in the slipstream. We brake nice and early, and Styles comes flying up the inside and pushes us out wide. And I thought at this point again it was gone. But if you remember, on the last lap, Styles got a huge surge of boost just by being behind him. We're going to slide our way up the middle of the two karts and just take the win on the line. It was an absolutely crazy race. So, King of the Karts, first time around. More luck than judgment, that one. It was a crazy race. I think I'm going to have to do a bit more karting practice before I get involved in another one of those. That was absolutely crazy. But yeah, thanks ever so much to everyone in the GTSRL for a brilliant night's racing. Thank you to everyone that raced. It was all really good, really nice and clean. Some great racing. And thank you ever so much to everyone that watched. As I say, make sure you're around for the I can't get my words out. Make sure you're around for the open lobby tomorrow. And if you did like the video, feel free to whack a thumbs up on there for me. It does mean a lot. I will see you all tomorrow for the stream. Have a fantastic evening.